everybody, thanks for joining me. My name is Marsha Gibbons and I am one of the instructors at the Putnam County Family YMCA. I teach yoga and senior fitness classes there. I'm also a health coach and nutritionist, so they've asked me to come online and just share some of my favorite easy recipes with you. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do a really crisp, really fresh Mediterranean inspired salad. So this salad is just going to be super easy, super fresh, really crisp, and perfect for this time of the year, and really flavorful. So what I'm doing now is I have washed my kale. I buy my kale in the bunches this time of the year. It's super cheap to buy it that way. A lot cheaper than in the bag. You get a whole lot more yield out of the bunches. Just be sure and wash them really good. And don't shock them to death. When you wash your vegetables and your fruits, make your water temperature not ice cold, but sort of, you know, not lukewarm, not warm, but just sort of like a tap cold. It's just not gonna shock them either way. And they will respond a lot better as far as, you know, it doesn't make them more crisp to douse them in ice cold water. In fact, it'll even kind of wilt them a little bit because they're not used to that. So just tearing and stripping them off. What I don't want with this salad, since I'm using kale as my green, is the big stems and pieces. I want the little, this is baby kale that I bought in the bunch. So I want to get rid of the stems and veins out of that. So I've just stripped all that off. I've already washed. One of the things I do when I'm cooking is I have all my ingredients, everything I'm going to use for my recipe. I just sort of have it already set out and within easy reach and easy to grab. I've got chicken in the oven, so I'm going to take a little peek at it. It is just a standard, yummy, basted, basic barbecue chicken that I'm going to flip right now. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird. Barbecue style chicken, Mediterranean salad, but let me tell you, it goes together really good. So I'm just flipping these chicken breasts. These are boneless, skinless chicken breasts. All they've got is some sweet baby braise on them and some salt and pepper. Super easy. But the chicken is actually going to be diced up to go over some goat cheese ravioli. So that's going to be like our main dish. And this salad that I'm showing you guys is going to be the side item on that. And also our crunch and our pick-me-up this time of the year. So back to my kale. I've got it stripped off. And I'm just going to really make sure that I pinch it up really fine. So I'm just going to break it up really, really good. Tossing it over here as I do into my pretty little pink bowl. I love to use pretty serving dishes. Sorry, feel like I'm going to sneeze. Anybody else ever had that happen to them when they are cooking? Yeah, so I just tuck it in. So, just pinching that up really, really good. I would start the video over and pretend like I didn't basically sneeze in my own kitchen. Yeah, I know, we're all COVID crazy this time of the year, but this is my kitchen. Okay, people eating this food is my people, you know, so just walk away from the food if you need to sneeze, because I promise you, I'm always that way when I'm cooking, always. So I'm just continuing to work this kale up. Yeah, use good hygiene. Don't sneeze into your hands, sneeze into your shoulders, walk away from your food in the kitchen, walk away from your prep area. But let's be real. So just continuing to break that up. See how much hate mail I get from this video as I sneeze in my kitchen off camera side. All right, just keep breaking it up. But if there's anything that I'm ever, anytime, and that is real, which sees what you get. So one of the reasons I'm using kale in this salad for my greens, because you have options. You could use spinach in the salad. You could use any kind of greens. that you like. You could even use no greens and use something like chickpeas or something like that. But I'm using kale because I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I'm one of the cancer exercise specialists at our Y, and so I'm all about nutrition. And kale is one of the most nutrient-dense foods out there. It is just filled with great vitamins, and I mean different ones. It has so many different vitamins in it. It has some minerals in it, and it has cancer-fighting properties in it. So that is what I want. I want to fill my foods with cancer-fighting properties also. So that's why I've chosen kale. And most of the time when I do a green, it is kale or kale mixed with spinach. That's just my choice on greens, and that's why, because they are just super nutritious. Spinach is super nutritious, but kale even tops spinach. It is like a super food. All right, so I've got my kale all chopped up in here and everything, and I've got my little bowl where my kale was at. I'm going to use that to prep my olive oil, sort of like my salad dressing. That's what I'm trying to think. Salad dressing. Make my own salad dressing. So I'm going to do that in this bowl right here. So what I'm going to use is really good quality extra virgin olive oil. So, and I'm going to use a good bit of that. So this is like a half cup measure. I mean, because this is going to be our yummy deliciousness. So I am like half a cup of there. Good deal. And you want to use a really good, this is Bertolli, Italian extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed, and a glass bottle. So you want to use a really good quality olive oil, because your olive oil is going to be a lot of the taste that you have in your salad. So I've got the olive oil in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab my lemon, which I have not washed yet. Just recall that I have not washed the lemon. So washing my lemon really good, giving it a really good rub. I scrub my vegetables and fruits with my hands, and then I give them a really good firm scrub down with my paper towels also. But we're going to take and put our lemon juice in there. So I've got one large lemon here, and I'm going to use the whole juice. A little trick whenever you're squeezing out lemons. You don't have to do any of these fancy juicers or anything like that. Just put your hand underneath the lemon and let the juice run through your fingers. Give your lemon a little twist with your thumb as you're squeezing it, so you get all the juice squeezed out of that beautiful lemon. Oh, love the smell of fresh lemons. Makes your whole house smell wonderful, and it's going to make this salad taste wonderful. So there we go. Got my lemon juice, and so when I've got my handful of seeds, I just open my lemon back up in here. Oh, watch me drop a seed in there. Fish that little sucker out. Looks like I did great. Did a great job. Dropped a couple of seeds in here. Normally I'm better than that, guys. Yeah, I have to say, this is the first time I'm making like a video like this that's going out to a lot of people, so maybe just a little bit nervous about this. So here goes the other half of our lemon. Squeezing it in, filtering through the fingers. Good. Squeezing it. I'm rotating this lemon. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's a really good hand, wrist workout also. So hands getting a good workout as I rotate this lemon around, making sure that I get all the goodies. Checking to make sure I don't get any seeds in there either. Oh, no seeds this time. Excellent. Good. So I'm just going to put these seeds back into the lemon. Going to double check. Swirl around. Oh, there was one. There's two. So there's a couple of seeds in there. Good. Got those little bad boys out. I wash my hands about 5 million times while I'm cooking, so I don't think that hurts anything. Doesn't hurt anybody. Wash your hands a lot. And I always have my cooking towel, like this is my hand towel for when I'm cooking. Like every time I wash my hands, I'm drying it off on this same towel. And then I use separate paper towels so I can throw those away for washing my vegetables and fruits. I don't want to mix up on that. So what I've got now is a big old good English cucumber. Gonna do 2 of these big fellas. So I am just giving it a good chop down the center so I can open it up. Oh, look at all the yummy juice in there. Love it. Nice dark green cucumber. So I'm making basically 4 big long slices out of this sucker so I can scoot them together and then really get into chopping. If you don't have a good chopping knife, if you're going to cook very much, that's something you really want to invest in. As far as how to professionally chop, I'm not the gal for that. I'm not a professional cook in any way, so I'm just chopping them, and I want them to be pretty good sized chunks. So when I fork into my salad, I want to be able to get a good bite with every forkful. I want to have a big forkful whenever I lift it up out of the salad. This is one of our favorite side dishes in this house. We're having friends over later, which is why I'm making such a big salad. If it was just for me and Brad, I would do about half this much. But we're having some friends over, so I'm making a really big salad. So I'm going for cucumber number 2. So splitting it right down the middle and splitting each half right down the middle. All right, and chopping the fire, chopping him up. All right, so throw this sucker in here. Sometimes I already have all this stuff, like if I know I'm going to be mixing this up while I've got company here, I will just go ahead and pre-chop all my veggies and pre-chop all of my stuff ahead of time. It is not going to hurt anything if you keep it chilled in the refrigerator with a little saran wrap on top. Okay, washing my hands again. I wash my hands between every vegetable, everything that I touch. I wash my hands. I don't want, that's just the way I am. All right. Another thing I also do is rinse my cutting board and my knife off between each thing too. I don't necessarily just get them and wash them down, but I do rinse them off good with hot water between each veggie. And then just wipe it down. I have like a whole stack of paper towels in a roll over here. And just dry off a little bit of that excess water. Put this in my scrap pile. Okay. So we've got our olive oil and our lemon juice going on in here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish now that they are liking each other. Get a little whisk, and you got to give them a minute. When you first put the lemon juice into the olive oil, it looks like it's all separated and you think, man, that's not going to go together. But if you give it a minute before you start adding other things to it, it'll all go together really nicely. They get happy with each other. So the next thing I'm going to do for my dressing is I like the pink Himalayan sea salt, just because it has such a good mineral content in there. So, and I don't do a whole lot of salt, y'all, but these greens need a little something. So I'm gonna only do about a fourth, just a light fourth have a teaspoon of salt in here. So pink Himalayan sea salt. Going to also go into ground black pepper. I really do like the pepper in the grinder, but I'm currently out of that, so I'm using what I got. And I've got these. When the hubs goes to the store for me, let's just say we don't shop the same. He goes old school. He always ends up getting these cans of black pepper, which is okay. Works good too. But I'm doing again about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper in here. Like I said, this is going to be super flavorful. And one of the things that they really do in Mediterranean countries is they really season their food. And there's lots of nutrients, lots of things of value to get out of these seasonings. So I'm going to whisk this together. Every time I add a couple, I'm going to whisking that together. Parsley. Good. I'm using the dried parsley. I do like to use fresh whenever it's in season, but I was shopping in town, in our local town, and for some reason there just wasn't. So I'm just gonna take and coat the bottom of my capful in this dried parsley because it is gonna expand as it soaks up this beautiful olive oil. So I'm gonna let it go in here and expand out. Got my parsley in there. What I've got in this little bowl right here is I've got some dried onions. This is something I always have on hand for soups and stews and things. And whenever you want onion for a recipe and you don't have a fresh onion, you can always just put your dried onions in a little dish with a little bit of water and let them reconstitute. So that's what these little fellas are doing. And they have pretty much soaked up all of the water in this bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and let them set in here for just a minute more and let them finish up what little bit of water is in. My dog is about to start barking everywhere. Sasha, that means my husband is back from the grocery store. Our local food line had steaks on sale, so he went to get T-bones. I don't eat beef, but we always keep stuff like that on hand from when we have guests over or the kids like to eat beef. I'm allergic to cows, so me and beef just don't jive very well. I'm going to pull this chicken out of the oven, turn the oven off, and just let that chicken rest. Looks so good. And let that rest. I'm going to get up here where I don't kill myself and let you guys see my chicken. This is the chicken I'm going to dice up for ravioli. And all that good yumminess that's in there with it is going to make a little bit of sauce. Hey babe, I'm filming, so just so you know, if you walk by, they're going to catch you. So, thanks for setting the dogs off. Okay, so next I've got garlic, minced garlic. You can do about 2 cloves of fresh garlic, or I'm going to do about a teaspoon of this minced in a jar, you know, making it easy. So I'm just going to make sure I drain that off really good. That's going right into my olive oil and lemon juice mixture. All right, adding into my dressing, stir that up a little bit. I love the smell of garlic. We definitely won't have vampires in this house. All right, so next thing I'm adding is dill weed. This is dried dill. Dill is so good. It's like a salty, just tangy taste to it. And what I'm gonna do is just shake a lot of it in here. So basically I just start shaking, and when the top of my olive oil and lemon juice mixture kind of looks good and green looking, call it a day. Whisk that up in there too. Like I said, this is going to be a flavorful salad. All right, so here's one of those Mediterranean spices that all of us here in Tennessee have never heard of, and it's called ground sumac. Yeah, we have poison sumac in Tennessee. I'd heard of that, and I was like, you don't want to have nothing to do with that. But apparently there are sumac berries in other areas that are good to eat, and they smell so good. So I'm adding dried sumac, and again, I'm just gonna shake it over my olive oil lemon mixture until I get a nice little light red dusting on top, and whisk it in. So, mixing that up good. Oh man, this is starting to smell really good. All right, and the last thing that I'm gonna add in is these little onions here, and they have soaked up the water that I put them in, so they're just all gonna go in there too. One thing I love about food from other cultures is they are all about flavor, using lots of fruits, vegetables, just everything. They don't knock an onion. And so I found onions aren't like my favorite thing on a hamburger or anything like that, but when you mix them in things and you cook them in things, they're really, really good. So next vegetable I'm gonna add, or fruit I'm gonna add, is tomato. Since tomato is fruit that we call a vegetable. So I've got I've got about 5 tomatoes up here. I'm gonna start slicing on these 2 and just kind of see where it goes from there. So again, I'm gonna chop it right down the middle, split it open, lay it down, and then I'm gonna take it and make 4 sections out of it, and then chop it coarsely because I want good big chunks, just like that. Nice big chunks of tomato. I don't generally cook with recipes. I usually just sort of wing it on my own with what I'm doing. When it looks good, it smells good, then I figure it must taste good. And the people who normally eat what I cook, from their reactions, that must be a winning combination. So, second tomato in there. And I think I probably cooked some weird things for being here in Tennessee. Wouldn't you think, babe? I cook weird stuff for a Tennessee gal.
Yeah.
I'm that person that orders ground sumac off of Amazon because I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that around here. But it was well worth the try. I have found that I love Mediterranean style food, and so does this old Tennessee fellow running around in the house with me. But he was a hard sell, I'm just gonna say. You know, husband and the kids, sometimes they can be a hard sell on things that, you know, have ingredients in them and combinations of ingredients in them that they are not normally exposed to. All right, I'm gonna rinse my cutting board off again. It looks like 3 tomatoes is gonna be enough. So this is where it gets fun. What I've got in there now is just your basic recipe for this Mediterranean crisp salad. So now you can start playing around with it. So what I'm gonna do is start adding things that I know that we all like around here. So I've got some black olives. So I'm just gonna take these little fellows, get me a smaller knife. I'm just slicing them in half and tossing them in there. Because everyone around here loves black olives. We like them on pizza, we like them raw. And I'm just gonna tell you folks, these are nothing fancy. These are not Katmala olives or however you say that. These are just your plain old, canned in a jar, black pitted almonds. Or olives. You could put almonds in the salad if you wanted to, but we're not going to today. We're going for olives. So, just a few more. I don't want a ton of them in there, but I just want to add some color and flavor. So everything that I've added in here so far, not only is it delicious in combination, really crisp, makes you think of summer, but it also all has cancer fighting properties in it. These dark black olives, they are chocked full of cancer fighting phytonutrients. It's what makes them dark in the flesh. The tomatoes, what makes them red. The lycopene, cucumbers, really nutritious, and that's why I leave the skin on there, because there's lots of nutrition in the skin. Onions are super nutritious foods. And yeah, these onions are dehydrated, so they're not gonna be as great as if it was a fresh diced red onion. That would have been delicious, but I'm using what I had on hand today, so I'm doing these dehydrated onions, but they're still in there. It's still an onion. It's just been dehydrated down in a dehydrator. There's still goodness in there. So everything in this salad is nutritious. The spices that I've used, the salt, the Himalayan sea salt with the high mineral content in it. Black pepper is a really good cancer fighter. The sumac is a good cancer fighter. Dill. So everything that I've put in here, the citrus and the lemon juice, olive oil has its own nutrients in it. Everything in here is nutritious and good for you. So whenever I cook, whenever I eat, everything is about nutrition content. And honestly, it's about fighting cancer wherever I can, because let's all agree cancer sucks, and so want to fight it any way I can. So that is the salad, and I've got one more thing that I'm just going to pull out of the refrigerator and toss in this salad just because I have a little bit left over, need to do something with it, and that's artichoke hearts. So these artichoke hearts are quartered and marinated, so they're already got some kind of marinade and things in there with them. And I'm not feeling the marinade that it has in there, so I'm going to drain these little bad boys. I prefer to buy my artichoke hearts not marinated, just plain. But when I got these, they were marinated. I didn't pay attention when I was buying them. So I ended up with the marinated ones. They weren't bad. We've been using them on flatbread pizzas, so they were really good to put on the flatbread pizzas. I'll do that recipe for you guys at another time. But the marinade in itself just was not my favorite. So what I'm doing is just slicing and dicing these artichoke hearts up really, really good, especially the stem portion of the heart. That stem portion still has the good artichoke flavor in it, but it's a little bit more of a softer texture to it. So I just want to make sure it's all chopped up really, really good and fine. And last but not least, dumping those artichoke hearts in there. All right, so we have got this salad mixed up, about as mixed up as you can get. We're ready to put it together. So, dry my hands off here. Pull this beautiful bowl in. Whisk up my wonderful salad dressing. Look how great that looks. If you guys can see, you cannot see, and I cannot tilt it to where you can see. Maybe you can see it as I'm pouring it in. Funky, delicious. It's got a beautiful yellow color, almost like a Dijon mustard color to it. Gonna scrape out all the goodness in there. My hubby, he is being so good. He is like putting things in the freezer, and he's walking all the way out into the deck onto the side porch and going in our back utility room door, so he's not interrupting my video. He is a good man. I'll keep him. All right, so we're gonna just toss this salad in. I'm just stirring this in with a couple of my wonderful wooden spoons, and just really wanting to coat every single bit of this salad in the olive oil mixture. It is not going to be like super runny like you see if you were dumping salad dressing on here from a bottle. It is just going to be nice and lightly coated so that you get a good flavor and every bite is gonna be nice and shiny. And since I'm not serving this right away, which you could dig into this right now and it'd be fine, but I am going to set it back in the refrigerator till our guests get here and just let it kind of all set in together, and it's gonna sit in there and chill out and mix all these good flavors. They're just gonna come in strong. You could top this if you wanted to top it with some cheese or anything like that. It would be really good for some fresh grated Parmesan on top. Would be perfect in there. But it really doesn't need anything other than all this beautiful veggies, fruits, and flavor. So it is absolutely ready. Move this out of the way. And take this salad bowl up here and let you guys see what this salad looks like. Is that not beautiful and delicious? Does that not look great, babe? You're gonna be eating good. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you recreate this at home. And like I said, you have lots of options to customize this to your own flavor. Give this salad dressing mixture a try and just see how good that is. I know there's a lot of things in there we don't normally, use in Tennessee, but trust me, it is really good. Even if you're an onion hater, you're gonna like this dressing. Thank you guys. See you next time. Thanks for cooking with me.